Hello, hello, mystical, magical, beautiful, amazing, powerful beings. Alora Mystique, and I am back. I know there's been a little bit of time, and there always seems to be this little bit of gap, right? But as you guys know, if you've been following or if you listen, that there's a lot of transformation and change and rebuilding that I'm presently having to do, and I've been sharing those experiences with you. And it's very much going to still take some time, but I do thank you for all the support. I thank you for continuing to follow my channel and for all the feedback. And please like and subscribe and share and make sure you're getting alerts. Just kind of going forward, I do want to grow the space. I definitely have some ideas coming up about some things that I'll be expanding into that Spirit has been on me about, but it will be more likely kind of at the end of the summer going into the fall. I don't know if that'll be on YouTube or probably not, because some of the content that I have, I want to go a little bit deeper into. And so I'll probably continue to utilize YouTube as dropping these little videos or mini series and then go into deeper discussion either on Facebook or Patreon. I'm not sure yet, or if there's other avenues. So if anyone who thinks that would be interested in that, please give me feedback as well and comment. But today, what I wanted to come to talk to you about was we have a full moon that's actually on tomorrow, yeah, March 28th, which is in Libra. And this is really a powerful full moon. It is what we would consider, I guess, a normal because the full moon and the next ones after this are actually going to be super moons. I think we have 2 or 3 super moons coming after this. And so this is a great kicker off, yes, of getting of things for the spring and for the summer and for harvesting and just for the rest of this year as we are dealing with all that comes with that 2021 energy, right? And the changing of the guard and the shift and the ascension and elevation and all that jazz. So I'm gonna try to keep this short. I feel like I say, oh, it's gonna be short, and then I end up kind of going off. But it's because I don't do videos as often, so or uploads, I should say, as often. But so the reason why this full moon came up a lot for me that I wanted to talk about was spirit kind of came through. And when I say spirit, a lot of times I'm just referring to either my oversoul, my ancestors, or the ancestors, those that just have elevated to the ancestral realm. And as you guys know, I do work with certain deities or gods and goddesses and other energies and beings as well. And there's kind of been a theme that's been coming up lately. And it started a while ago, actually, for me, where a lot of energies that was coming forward was about justice and about retribution, even reparations, so to speak, but from a different perspective, what we kind of think about it. And it kind of about the change, the time, the shift in power that's happening. And so coming into this full moon, which is actually in Libra, it is very much about think about the scales, right? And the balancing and some energies that came forward recently. Quite a few, but just to give you guys an idea, like Mayat, for example, which many are familiar with. If you get in kind of to like Lady of Justice and some of these other justice type energies and balancers who have kind of come forward, and so I wanted to share a little with you. So kind of getting some of the basics out the way. This moon is going to also represent this time of fulfillment. There is definitely this aspect of just kind of balancing what you are feeding for yourself as well as what you are giving to others. Making sure that we are moving into a phase of definitely reciprocity, having relationships and interactions that are in alignment with your desires and your goals and your manifestations and that are self-honoring for you. And just like I say, striking that balance between those two and making sure that you aren't giving up or losing a sense of your independence and autonomy, especially while there's still so much going on right now in the world. It can be easy to get so engaged that you can get so caught up in things that a sense of self becomes enmeshed, which, and especially if you're an empath, but it's also about making sure you're staying grounded and balanced within yourself, okay, during this time. Now, when we get a little bit more into the justice aspects of things, that's exactly what we're looking at. The scales of justice is that you reap what you sow type energy. And so when you look at energies like Lady of Justice, even karma, which karma, that's a whole separate class thing in itself, whether you believe in it or not. I look at it more as karma is directly related more so to how you feel or what you believe and think about the energy that you're putting out into the universe and your actions and your behaviors, okay? But we do have the law of cause and effect, which is a universal law. But well, again, coming back down to the reap what you sow and the kind of the justice and the retribution, and we can see this kind of playing out in society as well. And so when you have energies like Mayat that comes forward, for example, most tend to think of her as, the scales and where your heart is weighed against a feather, which is true. But that actually has to do a lot with the lightness of your heart, right? And how you feel and what you believe about your life at the time of your transition. And so that there's karmic debt that can be attached to that, things from past lives as well. And so at this full moon, you can utilize that to clear up, release karma, like I say, karmic debts, soul contracts, things of that nature. Maya in particular is not just a balancer how we think about it. She's actually very much a scales of justice and balancer on a cosmic level, even when it comes to portals and realms and dimensions and things of that nature. And so she's a great energy to work with as well, to tap into during this time. And bringing in that justice energy, what that kind of looks like is this. So regardless of how your stance is regarding your work, protection is a part of life, right? If you drive a car and you put a seatbelt on, that's protection. That's what it's there for. When you look both ways before you cross the street, that is a sign of protection, right? And so even with that, a part of protection simply also is where you can reverse and return intentions that have been shot or targeted to your way, whether intentionally or not. There is nothing baneful about that, as if a person has intentions of love, they receive love back, right? So you literally are just returning and reversing what was sent to you, and it doesn't have to be, without getting too deep, it's the intention. So this new moon is great, full moon is great for that as well. And we're looking at kind of clearing yourself. And so if you've been in relationships or in experiences that have been abusive, that have been like a violation, anything along those lines, this is a great opportunity to be able to reverse that back, okay? And if you don't want to send it back to where it came from, you can still release that into the universe or release that into upon Terra to transmute for the betterment of everyone and for the all. But you can utilize this moon to do that. And when you do, call in what you are due. Call in what is justified to you for those experiences. So if someone stole from you, if you have a history of being at the getting the short end of the stick, not getting fair legal treatment, not fair housing opportunities. When we say fair, we're talking about equal just as far as a certain standard that applies to everyone in society, right? And you can utilize this moon to kind of call all that back in. So specifically when it comes to our ancestry as well, there's that piece of, it's now time to get back what was withheld, what was taken, what was stolen, what was suppressed, what was oppressed. And that's coming through really, really strong right now. So I wanted to bring this up for that piece because so many of us, this is a time to really be building generational wealth and legacy. And the ancestors, not just my ancestors, but the ancestors in general are working. They're empowered and they're ready. And the energies are in alignment with that. So again, we're utilizing what is in alignment for us when we are manifesting and creating, right? And so that's, again, without going too long, I just kind of wanted to drop those little tidbits and nuggets. If there's, in case there was something you really hadn't thought about. I know a lot of times we think about how we think of Libra, but I wanted to put out there to make sure to tap in a little bit deeper with that and really hone in on that justice, on that balancing and rebalancing, right? And also that creation from that, and make sure that you're calling in all of this energy for your betterment and for your highest good. And even when it comes to your personal activation, you can utilize that as well. Again, like I said, as you release karmic debt and soul contracts, you basically then are calling forth your power, right? You are bringing back in all of that in which has, even if you have yielded to something or someone else, you are now calling it back as from a place of, I am empowering myself, I am balancing myself, I am standing in alignment with my divinity, with my sovereignty, I am the creator and the God of my life. And what does this look like? And making those sovereign divine decrees and declarations and pulling in this energy to assist you with doing so. So hopefully that is somewhat helpful. I'm multitasking right now. I actually am cleaning out some stuff in my garage. So if there was some background noise, my apologies. It's one of the reasons why I also was not doing video, because yeah, I'm moving. It's a lot going on in here right now. But I wanted to drop this while I was thinking about it, and as well as before it got too late, since this full moon is on tomorrow. You know that you can always tap into that energy 2 to 3 days before, 2 to 3 days after. If you are somewhere where it's very rainy right now, like I am in Georgia, we had a lot of rain, tornadoes come through the other day, and I tapped good into that energy, okay, in alignment with what we're this full moon that's coming as well. And you can continue to utilize that and pull that in too, because what storms, rain, wind is all about change, transformation. Even with the destruction that can come, there is a rebirthing that comes from that. You know, we're also going into this Easter type portal, right? And so I'll come back and talk about that a little bit later. But all these different things is kind of circulating around right now. So again, don't forget to follow us. Check us out on Facebook at Realm of the Mystic, and on Instagram as well. And don't forget to look at Enchanted Desires. Thank you for those who have supported my Etsy store and business. I am continuing to rebuild, because, you know, I did lose all my products and supplies in a fire that I did have. And it is taking some time to rebuild years of products and supplies and just things that I had built up over time. But I definitely appreciate you guys and all your support. And I do have some great products coming for the summer, like kind of pop-up products. And there are some things that is available on my site, which is Enchanted Desires, Dezires, which can be found on Etsy. And so have a great one with manifesting and with this full moon, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.